Hi, this is Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is an analysis on SPY. Some of our Discord community were asking about SPY on the Elliott Wave, and in particular this deep wave 4 on the daily. So I wanted to go through really what I'm looking at right now. So when I look at this on the daily time frame for SPY using the Elliott Wave indicator suite, this is an extremely complex correction. It's too long for a wave 4 on the daily time frame. So we need to switch to the weekly time frame to understand the behavior that's going on now, because this is an A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, it's just a really long, complex correction. And to be honest, the wave 4 should have stopped around about here and gone again. It didn't. So we need to now look on the weekly time frame. So put it on week 5 years. This is a better picture of what is going on right now. So we can see this bullish trend all the way up on the weekly time frame, hits the wave 3, and then this year we pull back. We've pulled back into the red zone. Last week was a good week. We got this piercing line type pattern with the previous week's wave 4 low. We just need continuation now. Well, one of the things I really want to concentrate on here is framing the chart. Okay, so when we look left on this pivot here, we were testing this low and it rejected off on this weekly channel here. So that was a good rejection of the lows. It did try to go up and then it failed and came back down again. And then it acted as resistance. If we look left as well, there's a lot of clustering and support and resistance around that zone. So this price point is really important. For us to say that this has actually got some bullish momentum now, we need to be above this zone, which is around about 418. Okay, so at this point we're not looking for long trades, we're just looking at the behavior. Now this week's critical. We need a higher high, higher low, and then we're going to be, you know, when we testing this resistance level, this is what we go. So don't get hung up on what's happening on the daily. It's just a complex correction. On the weekly, we've got an ABC correction on the wave 4. That's pretty good. You know, it's not too complex. I'm reasonably happy with that. So how to trade this? You've got to look at sort of 4-hour, 2-hour time frames and use the XBRAD algo to help you. So remember, we've framed that chart. So there's other things we can put on here as well. We've got to look at you know, we've got to look at this pivot here also coincide where we hit the top of the channel. I'll talk about a channel in a minute. So again, we've got a hard road ahead of us, and then obviously this wave 3 high from the end of last year. So you know, there's a tough road ahead, but there's no reason why, if this momentum doesn't continue, get through 418, we should be looking for bullish trades on lower time frames. So the channel really is quite tight, and I've drawn that purposely to take into consideration these highs and lows, these pivots. We got this C pivot here, we got these support zones here. So this is a really strong zone, and this is where it touches on that channel as well. Really got lots of touches on the top trend line here, and then the center line is very strong. So in reality, we have got a really strong channel that it's broken out of, which is normal. Now we just need to see if we can get that recovery above 418. To use Elliott Wave now to trade is very difficult, because it gives you that longer term view. What you need to be looking at now is probably the roller coaster or the XBRAD algo. So the XBRAD algo, basically on the 4-hour time frame, would give you those short trades that's gone on now. You wouldn't take the long. You don't go long into resistance. Okay, short, good. Short, you don't short into support. Short, good. Short, good. What we're looking for now, a couple of things can happen. This could move up. We get a 5 or a 6 star buy, and we'd probably go long 418.63 and try and ride it up to that resistance level. However, if we come to this sort of zone, turns back down again, we're most likely to get a 5 or a 6 star sell, and we go short again. So this gives you more continual trading opportunities. Elliott Wave at this moment in time is not really tradable. On the weekly, it's telling you where we are, what the behavior is. We've used then some support and resistance zones, but now you've got to look at different types of strategies for different market conditions. So we've come very deep on this correction. It's not a bearish market, okay? I don't really listen to fundamentals. A chart actually represents reactions to fundamental analysis and news. So I just really concentrate on the technicals. And if or not type logic comes into play here, but you've got to look at different market conditions, different types of trading strategies. So if I just put the roller coaster on here as well, okay, roller coaster is actually giving us a long now, okay? We can see the shorts have worked out here, but the roller coaster is actually saying go long today, 390.38, and with a target, you know, you've got to be looking at that resistance level. So we've got different market conditions for, you know, different indicators of different market conditions. So in addition to that Elliott wave, you really should be looking now at the expat algo and or the roller coaster to keep those continual trading opportunities. Now we've had this deep correction. Longer term, once we get above 418, as I've discussed on the weekly, you could go longer term long on SPY. You know, once we get through this correction level, but again, remember at 460 is going to get some resistance there. But right now, because we've had this deep pullback and we had a good week last week, doesn't mean there's a lot of bullish sentiment out there. What it means is there is potential up to that resistance zone. If it breaks that resistance zone, there's potential up there. If it doesn't, there's potential to come short and it come all the way down to this point. So at this moment in time, you've got to have that and or if attitude, and you've got to have other indicators in your toolbox to trade those moves, because you can't just rely on Elliott Wave. Elliott Wave, trading those fifth wave moves is when something's trending. Right now, we've pulled back against the trend and there's a lot of work for it to do to return to that bullish trend. I don't think we're in a bearish trend right now. We're in a very deep correction. If on the weekly time frame it breaks that red pullback zone, go back to the weekly a second. If it breaks this red zone here around about 351, the wave 4 rule will be broken. Okay, for me, that's when we're in bearish territory, but it still could find support at this support and resistance zone. Okay, but at the moment, there's a 75% probability that it's going to go on and make 520. Only 75, and it's got a lot of work to do. So in the meantime, you need to be going down the time frames, 4 hour, 2 hour, even the hourly, and you'll be using that expat algo for the shorts and the longs and to trade between the zones. Very, very simple. If I go to, I don't know, let's go to 1 hour right now. We've got a 6-star buy, for example, on the 1 hour. You remember on the 4 hour, we've got a roller coaster signal for long as well. So if we open well today, it could be, you know, we could have a bit of a bullish move up to this zone here. Go to 2 hour. Again, we already started early on the 2 hour. We got that entry last week for the long on the roller coaster here. We've now got a 5-star buy signal. So again, you've got to have more tools in your toolbox than the Elliott Wave indicator suite, because market conditions change, and you've got to be able to go down those time frames to be able to continue to trade SPY effectively. Hopefully that answers those questions. I'll put the links in below to the expert algo and the roller coaster, because these are tools you really should have.